Okay, so picture this. I think it's a situation a lot of us have, been in. You're a business traveler, or maybe you're an entrepreneur trying to break into a brand new market.
Mm.
You land in a massive city, let's say Tokyo or Singapore. You've got your suitcase, you've got the laptop, you're all checked in, you are ready to go. And then Monday morning hits, and you realize you have a massive problem.
You have nowhere to actually work.
Exactly. And I don't mean, finding some cute coffee shop with spotty Wi-Fi where you're fighting for an outlet.
Oh, God, no. Or trying to run a Zoom call from a tiny hotel desk where your knees are just banging against the drawer every time you move.
Right. It's impossible.
Yeah.
We're talking about a place for professional, effective work where you can host a real meeting, print a contract, or just think without a barista shouting an order every 30 seconds.
And that's really the friction point we're unpacking today.
It is. And we're looking at this through the lens of moveandstay.com.
Which is, I think, the perfect framing for this whole discussion. I mean, Move and Stay has been solving this exact puzzle for over 25 years.
25 years.
They've been connecting business travelers with these extended stay solutions all across the Asia-Pacific region since, the late 90s?
That's a lifetime in this industry. And usually when you think of Move and Stay, you think of the stay part, right? Service departments, maybe long-term hotels.
Of course.
But there's this third pillar to their business that is, well, it's arguably becoming the most critical piece of infrastructure for the modern professional, and that's serviced offices.
It's the piece of the puzzle that turns a trip into an actual expansion. It's about finding a place to live and work abroad without the headache of setting everything up from scratch.
And that's why professionals and corporate teams trust them,
Right.
because they handle these stays that are longer than just a few days.
Exactly. Which brings us to the specific subject for today's deep dive. We're looking at a major player within that Move and Stay ecosystem, Compass offices.
A heavyweight in the Asia-Pacific region, for sure.
Right. And the news on the desk today is that they're making some very, very aggressive moves to expand. We're looking at brand new centers opening up in two of the most expensive, competitive financial hubs in the world.
Tokyo and Singapore.
Yep.
But hold on, I'm going to pause here for a second because I know what some people listening are probably thinking. Okay, a real estate company opens some new offices. Why is this a deep dive?
It's a fair question. It sounds a little dry on the surface.
It does. But looking at the research, this isn't really a story about square footage, is it? Or like carpet swatches.
Not at all. This is a signal. It's a massive signal about where business is going in Asia, and I think more importantly, how business is being done now.
So the mission for this deep dive is to really unpack why they chose these specific locations. Yotsuya in Tokyo and Raffles Place in Singapore.
And to look at the economics behind it. Why would a Fortune 500 company or even a solo entrepreneur choose this route over a traditional long-term lease?
It's all about the why behind the expansion.
Exactly. It's about lowering that barrier to entry for global business. It's how the very concept of the headquarters is being sort of dismantled and rebuilt as a service.
Rebuilt as a service. I like that.
Oh, yeah.
So let's set the stage. Compass offices. Who are they? Are they like the new kids on the block?
Far from it, no. Compass has been around since 2009. In the world of flexible workspaces, that basically makes them a veteran.
Right.
They've survived economic crashes, the global pandemic, the rise and fall of a lot of competitors. They've seen it all.
Okay, so they have staying power. What about the scale?
The scale is pretty significant. They're operating nearly 40 centers across 9 different cities, and they're serving over 20,000 clients.
Wow, 20,000 clients. That number is interesting. But what really struck me when I was reading through the source material was the mix of clients. I think there's this stereotype about serviced offices.
The guy in the hoodie building an app?
Exactly. The freelancer, the digital nomad, the solo founder. And sure, they're probably there. But Compass seems to have a much, much broader portfolio. They list everyone from entrepreneurs to Fortune 500 companies and large enterprise teams.
And that diversity is actually the key to their resilience. If you only cater to startups, you're really vulnerable when the venture capital dries up. And if you only cater to big banks, you miss the growth of the next big thing. So Compass just captures the whole spectrum.
But how do you do that? I mean, how do you build a product that works for a solo consultant and a multinational corporation at the same time? They seem like very different customers.
Well, it comes down to their core philosophy. They operate on 4 pillars: affordability, scalability, technology, and choice. But if we really want to understand the business case, we need to drill down into scalability.
Okay, let's unpack that because scalability is one of those buzzwords that gets thrown around in, every pitch deck.
Yeah.
What does it actually mean for physical real estate?
Okay, think about it this way. Imagine you're a VP at a mid-sized American software company. You want to test the Japanese market.
Right.
In the old world, the traditional real estate world, you have a massive problem. You have to fly to Tokyo, find a broker, look at all these empty concrete shells, hire an architect, a contractor, buy furniture, set up the internet.
I'm exhausted just hearing you describe it.
And you haven't sold a single piece of software yet. You are 6 months and maybe $500,000 in the hole before you even start. That's a huge barrier to entry.
It's a huge gamble.
Right. So scalability with Compass completely changes the math. It allows you to rent a 2-person office for your country manager today. Then, let's say the launch goes well. Next month, you hire 3 salespeople.
You don't have to move.
You don't need to break a lease and move. You just take a larger suite down the hall.
And what if the launch fails?
You cancel the membership and you fly home. You aren't stuck with a 5-year lease on a building you don't need. You're converting a fixed liability, that lease, into a variable operating cost that just grows or shrinks with your revenue.
I see. So for you, the listener, who's thinking about business strategy, this essentially de-risks the whole expansion process.
Precisely. And that appeals to the solo founder just as much as it does to the Fortune 500 CFO. They both want agility.
They handle the plumbing, you handle the strategy.
That's it. Compass's model is about providing inspiring workspaces so clients can focus on their core business activities.
That makes perfect sense. Okay, let's get specific. Let's look at where they're placing their bets. We'll start in Japan. Compass Offices has just launched a new business center in Tokyo.
Okay.
It's called the Yotsuya N Club.
This is a significant move. It's their 3rd location in Tokyo, which shows they are really deepening their footprint, not just maintaining it.
Now, for anyone who hasn't tried to navigate the Tokyo subway map recently, which is a labyrinth, let's talk about Yotsuya. It's in Shinjuku-ku, but it's not exactly Shibuya, is it? It's not the big neon light district.
No, and that's very intentional. Yotsuya is a fascinating district. It's bustling, it's very central, but it has a different flavor. The new center is an 8-floor facility, and crucially, it's right near major transport links. Specifically, Yotsuya Station.
And in Tokyo, being near the station is everything. If you're 5 minutes closer to the train, you're effectively an hour closer to the rest of the city.
Oh, absolutely. Efficiency is currency in Tokyo. But what really stands out to me about the Yotsuya N Club isn't just the train station. It's the specific demographic they're targeting here.
I saw that in the notes, and I want to ask you about it. They specifically mentioned this location is attractive to public service companies and legal professionals.
It's so specific.
Very specific. Usually when you hear serviced office, you think creative agencies or tech startups. You don't immediately think law firm or government contractor.
And that's where the location strategy is just brilliant. Yotsuya has gravitas, it's close to government hubs, it feels established, it's serious. If you're a legal firm or a public service entity, you need an address that projects stability.
So you can't just set up your law firm in some converted warehouse in a trendy hipster district.
You could, but your clients might not trust you. In Japan, the address on your meisha, your business card, it signals your trustworthiness. If you're dealing with government contracts, you need Yotsuya. You don't need Harajuku.
That's really cool insight. It's like real estate is reputation.
Exactly. And Hans Leighton, who's the CEO of Compass Offices, he had a quote about this. He said this expansion is a direct response to rising demand from international companies looking to expand.
Let's touch on that international companies part,
Mm-hmm.
because Japan is notoriously difficult for outsiders to crack when it comes to real estate.
Difficult is putting it mildly. It's legendary. If you're a foreign company trying to rent a traditional office, you often face the key money system, a huge, non-refundable gift to the landlord.
A gift.
Yeah. And you need a local guarantor. You need endless paperwork. It's a bureaucratic firewall.
Sounds like a nightmare.
It is. So by offering a serviced office here, Compass is basically giving international companies a shortcut. You bypass all that red tape. A move and stay client can land, check in, and have a legitimate, prestigious Yotsuya address on day one.
And the capacity. It says the Yotsuya N Club offers solutions for teams from 1 to 40 people.
There's that scalability again.
But 40 people, that's not just a satellite office anymore. That's a full branch.
It is, and that reflects a shift in the market. Companies are staying in these flexible setups longer. They grow to 40, 50 people, and they decide, Why should we leave? Why take on the headache of cleaning and security and internet contracts? They just stay in the ecosystem.
It really validates the model.
Yep.
Okay, so that's Tokyo. Stability, legal professionals, bypassing bureaucracy. Let's fly south to Singapore.
The Lion City.
Compass is expanding there too, with a new center called the Samsung Hub.
And just like in Tokyo, this is their third location in the city, so they're triangulating their presence.
Tell us about the Samsung Hub, because the location here feels very different from Yotsuya.
Very different. We are talking about Raffles Place. This is the absolute heart of the financial district. This is Wall Street meets Silicon Valley in Southeast Asia.
High stakes.
Extremely high stakes. If you want to be taken seriously in finance or tech in Singapore, this is where you want your address to be. And the facility itself matches that ambition. They're on the 29th floor.
The 29th floor. I imagine the views are decent.
They're likely incredible. You're looking out over the Singapore River, Marina Bay. It's the kind of view you pay for, not just for yourself, but to impress the person sitting across the table.
I always wonder about that. Does a view actually pay the rent? Or is it just vanity?
In a place like Singapore, it pays rent. It's all about signaling. We're here. We are successful. We are solvent. It builds confidence.
And obviously, being in Raffles Place, the connectivity is there. It's walking distance to major MRT stations.
Right. But let's look at the target audience. In Tokyo, it was legal and public service. In Singapore, the CEO was very clear. This addresses a huge increase in demand from the technology and the financial sectors.
Tech and finance, the twin engines of Singapore's economy.
Exactly. Singapore has been aggressively positioning itself as the tech hub of Southeast Asia. And with the economic recovery, companies are rushing to establish a presence. But here's the thing about tech and finance. They are volatile sectors.
Volatile in what way?
They move fast. A tech company might land a Series B funding round and need to hire 20 developers, like next week. But in 2 years, that project might end or the market shifts and they need to pivot.
So a traditional 5-year lease is basically a concrete anchor around their neck.
It's a death sentence for agility. If you're a tech firm, you have no idea what your headcount will be in 6 months. So you need a space like the Samsung Hub. You can spin up a project team, house them in a top-tier office to attract talent, and then shift them around as you need to.
So Tokyo is about stability and access. Singapore is about speed, status, and agility.
That's a great way to put it. But despite those different flavors, there's a common backbone running through both that I think is really important for you, the listener, to understand.
The tech backbone.
Right. Whether you're a lawyer in Yotsuya or a fintech developer in Raffles Place, you have the same non-negotiable need. The sources mention enterprise-grade IT infrastructure and high-speed Wi-Fi for both centers.
Okay, I want to push on that term, enterprise grade. It sounds a little like marketing fluff. Does it just mean fast internet?
No, and that's a crucial distinction. It's not just about bandwidth. It's about security and redundancy. If you're a move and stay client, say a bank or a government contractor, you cannot work off a standard home router. You've got compliance issues, data security laws.
Ah, I see. So if the internet goes down or if the network isn't secure, you're not just annoyed, you're liable.
Exactly. Enterprise grade means Compass has built the heavy back-end infrastructure, firewalls, secure networks, backup lines, so you don't have to hire a CTO just to open a satellite office.
That is a massive value add.
Yeah.
And they're both described as fully equipped and fully furnished.
Which brings us right back to the move and stay ethos we talked about at the start. Trusted by professionals and corporate teams. Why? Because their time is money.
It's the plug-and-play concept.
Think about the old way. You land in Singapore, you spend 2 weeks looking at offices, 2 weeks negotiating a lease, a month waiting for furniture and internet installation. You've lost a quarter of your year just setting up.
And burned a lot of cash doing it.
With these new Compass centers, you land, you drop your bag at your move and stay service department, you walk into the Samsung Hub, you plug in, and you are working. You're billing hours on day one.
That speed to market is incredible. It really changes the definition of what a business trip or a market entry even looks like.
It just blurs the line between visiting and residing. It makes global mobility almost frictionless.
So let's zoom out. We've looked at the trees, the buildings in Tokyo and Singapore. Let's look at the forest. What does this all mean for the future of work?
Well, the sources identify a broader trend. Increasing customer demand for flexible office solutions in metropolitan areas. That sounds a bit academic, but the real-world implication is huge. It's a shift to office as a service.
Meaning, you don't own the office, you just subscribe to it.
Exactly. It's the Spotify model applied to real estate. Companies are realizing they don't need to own the asset to get the benefit.
And that adaptability is key. The 1 to 40 people capacity in Tokyo, the tech hub focus in Singapore. It shows businesses are demanding the ability to scale up or down without penalty.
And providers like Compass are responding by taking on that risk for them. Compass absorbs the long-term lease risk and then sells short-term flexibility to the client.
And for MoveAndStay.com, this is sort of the final piece of the ecosystem.
It is. Move and Stay has spent 25 years perfecting the living side, finding you that perfect service department for a 3-month project. Now, by highlighting these expansions, they're closing the loop. You have the bed and you have the desk.
It means the barrier to entry for working abroad in these major hubs is being lowered significantly.
It's practically being removed. Whether you're a solo entrepreneur or a corporate team, the logistics are no longer the hard part. The hard part is just doing your actual work.
Which is how it should be.
Exactly.
So we've covered the philosophy of Compass scalability, tech, choice. We've toured the stable, serious world of the Yosuya N Club and the high-flying financial world of the Samsung Hub.
And we've seen how this all fits into the broader mission of making global business seamless.
It really redefines the concept of a headquarters. It's not a fortress anymore. It's a network.
A distributed network of opportunities. That's a good way to put it.
Before we wrap up, I want to leave you, the listener, with something to chew on.
Yeah.
We've spent this time talking about how easy it is to set up shop in these global cities. It's faster, it's cheaper, and it's lower risk than ever.
Absolutely.
So here's the question. As companies like Compass make it easier to set up these instant high-tech offices in global financial hubs, how does that change the way you plan your next business move?
It's a big question.
Do you really need a permanent headquarters anymore, that big building with your logo on the top? Or do you just need the right network of flexible bases?
Maybe the future of your company isn't defined by its address, but by its access.
Access over ownership. That might be the defining theme of the next decade of business.
I think you're right.
Something to think about while you're planning your next expansion. Thanks for diving in with us today.
My pleasure.
And for all your extended stay needs, whether it's the bed or the desk, you know where to look. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.